have students in your classroom for a day, if you're elementary perhaps, or a class period, or if you're a specialty kind of a teacher, maybe several times during the week, and invariably it happens. You've simply run out of stuff to do. You're getting down to the end of the day or end of the period, and everybody's done everything. You've gone through your whole lesson plan, and you've got a little bit of time left over. Well, your job while you're there with your kids is to make sure that they are engaged in meaningful learning activities. But then you get that little period at the end, and you don't have anything. What you need are some filler activities. Now, the idea of, well, we've got 10 minutes left, kids, just relax, or work on your homework, or play on your phones, or whatever the case may be, that's not your job. Your job is to use that time to provide meaningful instruction and instructional opportunities. So we need some fillers. We need a toolkit of fillers, and that's what we're going to do in this video. We're going to look at 4 ways to do this. The core is pretty similar for all of them. Just give me a handful of activities, 10-minute filler activities, but we're going to do it in a few different ways so you have some options. Now, will you use all 10 that we came up with? Absolutely not. Will you find 2 or 3 or 4 that you can just tuck away for times when you need them? Yes, and that's what we're trying to do. Build up your toolkit of quick and simple filler but meaningful activities, starting with prompt number 1. So here we go. Create 10-minute instructional filler activities, and we're going to use 3rd grade as this example. For the first one, we said what subjects we want these activities to address, and because it's elementary, a variety. Okay, we want some individual ones, we want some group activities, but it's a filler, right? So they need to be fun. Also, because it's something you're doing on the fly when you need them, you probably don't have a lot of materials prepared, so require minimal setup and resources. And because it's instructional, what actually are the kids learning? So I need some content standards as well. All right, so let's try our first example here as soon as I find my ChatGPT, and let's see if we can create a pool. And this is very basic, obviously. We're not looking for specific types of activities. Just give me a bunch. I'm the teacher. I will use my judgment and pick and choose the ones that I think my kids would like and would apply to my classroom. So what do we got? English language arts, word ladder, setup, standards, whole group, pairs, small group, whole group for mathematics, and on and on and on. Now, obviously, if one of these looks interesting or more, and you want to know more about it, if it's not just immediately obvious, you can say, tell me more about 7, or whichever one it is, if you want some additional instructions. And because we're in the same discussion thread, here is more about that. All right, so that is type 1. Pizza fractions. Everybody does fractions with pizza. There's a lot of ways to do fractions. I don't know why we always go back to pizza, but that's what we do. Okay. And et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so that's number 1. Let's take a look at a modification of that. Let's take a look at prompt number 2. 10 5-minute instructional activities. Let's go to 6th grade. Here we're declaring a specific subject area, math in this case, and we want them to be whole class led by the teacher. So you're standing up or walking around, and this is something you are directing the class to do. So we're going to ask for that. However, they need to be fun, again, and also the minimal setup and resources and the content standards. So let's give this one a go. Right here, let me grab a new chat and go. Let's see what we get. Maybe something interesting here. Here are 10 fun 5-minute whole class They only need a whiteboard or projector. Very nice. Number chain. Take turns giving math operations. All right, that's actually looks like fun. Quick shapes, estimate measures, nice, closest one wins, etc., etc., etc. Now, one thing that I saw there is some of these are in the nature of a race or a little competition. So let's take a look at number 3, where we specifically are looking for that type of an activity. Would you rather $2 every day or $10 on Friday? And explain your reasoning. Very nice. Very simple things you can just pull out of your pocket and say, all right, here's what we're going to do. And the kids won't even know that you're kind of scratching your head saying, oh my gosh, I've got 10 minutes left in my class. What are we going to do? Hi, David Bowman here. If you are enjoying this video and these techniques, please make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Now, if you are a school administrator or a PD lead and you're looking for some support for your staff to make the most effective use of AI within the learning environment, feel free to give us a call or send us an email. We'd love to talk to you about how we can work together to make sure that your staff is using AI effectively to meet the learning needs of kids. Now, back to the video. All right, so number 3. Again, 5-minute instructional fillers. Let's do 8th grade science here. All right, and the standards, of course. Here we want small group and for groups to compete. So we specifically want competitive activities here. Describe the activity, provide the rules for the competitive basis or the competition, and tell me, how do you win? So let's see what we get here as soon as I copy it and drop it into a new chat. So you see these are all fairly similar at the start. 10 5-filler activities. What we're doing is we're defining the request in multiple ways: competitive, individual, teacher-led, and things of that nature. So what do we have? Element relay. About 5 minutes each. List as many elements as you can in 10 minutes. Write them, etc., etc., etc. Examples of Newton's 3 laws in real life. I would do that one. Okay. And mystery density, etc., etc. So there is a third approach to these little classroom fillers. But let's do one more. Okay, again, 10 5-minute activities, 11th grade. I want small group and requires some form of physical activity. Because there's a pretty good chance by the end of the class period, if it's English language arts, they've been probably sitting around a lot. So let's get them up out of their chairs and move around. And importantly, we've got plenty of room to move around. Make them fun with an exclamation mark. They should require no resources other than typical student resources. And here. The idea of incorporating physical activity into content area learning is actually very solidly grounded in research. When we use more of our body, we use more of our brains. When we use more of our brain, learning is accelerated. So that's really what this is doing here. Demonstrating that, and it's going to give us some fun. And again, if I want to know more about one of these, then I just ask for the explanation. So there you go. 4 approaches to generating those filler activities for when you need something to do at the end of your class. I hope you found this useful. Take care.